What's happening, guys? It's match day unfiltered here, and bringing another video. This week's video is going to be on predictions on who's going to get relegated. So all I'm going to be doing is going through the scores week by week on who I think is going to stay in the Premier League and who's going to go down. Let's get into it. Okay, the first game on the Friday is West Ham v Wolves after the international break and after the cup games. I've got West Ham to win this one. I think West Ham are going to win 3-1. The reason I think that is because West Ham have been in good form lately. I know they didn't turn up against Villa, but Villa are a very good team. The rest of their games that they've been playing, they've been really putting the pressure on other teams and coming out with positive results each week. This international break, I think, will do them good. They looked a bit tired. They also lost to Debo just before kickoff, which messed up the system that they've been working on all week, probably. So I think you can't really excuse the performance, but you can kind of understand the reason why they struggled to win that game. They just didn't turn up. There might have been a lot of reasons why. But playing against Wolves, they didn't turn up against Wolves last time. They got battered and it was over by half time. So I think West Ham are going to come back and really put an effort in, try and win this game to get them out of trouble. Also, they will know that if they get a win in this game, they'll come out of the bottom three, and that'll put Tottenham into the bottom three for their game, which really puts the pressure on, and I think they're really going to struggle. So I think West Ham are coming away with the win, and I'm predicting 3-1. I think it's going to be goals in the game. I think West Ham are going to go out to win it. Wolves will get. I imagine Wolves will get one because West Ham do concede quite a few goals, so I do think Wolves will get one, but I think West Ham come away with the win. I'm going to skip down to the Sunderland-Tottenham game because I'm just going to be doing the relegation battle this week. Sunderland-Tottenham. Sunderland at home are a very good team, hard team to beat, and Tottenham have been absolutely woeful this whole season, really, but definitely since the turn of the year. Haven't won a game in the Premier League. Tudor come in, whether he's still there or not by the time they play Sunderland is another matter, but 1 point out of 15 is just not good enough. Sunderland at home are a very difficult team to beat. They've just beaten Newcastle in the derby, coming back from 1-0 down to 2-1, which is going to give them a lot of confidence because they were starting to struggle a little bit, but that win will give them a lot of confidence, and now they've got something to fight for. Staying above Newcastle will be massive for them. I don't predict them to be anywhere near the European spots, but if they can finish above Newcastle, that's definitely a win for them this season. I'm going to predict a 2-0 win for Sunderland. I don't see Tottenham scoring. I see Sunderland getting a goal midway through the first half, letting Tottenham tire themselves out a little bit, getting a goal, Tottenham crumbling, Sunderland just going and getting a goal at some point in the second half and win the game 2-0 comfortably. Next, I'll go to Forest Villa. Forest have been a good, again, turned up really well against Tottenham. They let Tottenham tire themselves out in the first half, hit them on the last minute of the first half with a header, and then just absolutely battered in the second half. However, Aston Villa are a different team. Aston Villa aren't going to let them do that. And they've been getting their form back recently. So with the wins in Europe, then absolutely dominated West Ham last weekend. I think they're ready. They're back fighting. They found their form again and they're scoring goals. They look comfortable. They're running about. They're cutting about, getting the ball back when they lose it. Which Forest will do as well. I just think Aston Villa have got the better quality throughout the team. Forest have got some very good players, but I think Aston Villa on the whole probably a better team. And it shows in the league. Aston Villa are fourth at the minute for a reason. And I actually think they're going to do really well and stay up there. So I think I'm going to go with 2-1 to Aston Villa in this game. I'm going to skip the Chelsea-Man City game and then go on to the Man United-Leeds game. Man United, for me, since Carrick took over, they've been absolutely brilliant. And Leeds away from home aren't particularly good. If this was the other way round, evening game at Ellen Road, very tough team to beat. Going away from home, I think Man United have got this wrapped up, and I'm going to go over 3-0. I think there's going to be goals in the game. I think Man United will get a goal early. Leeds will have to come out and then try and get a goal back, because they might as well lose 3-0 rather than losing 1-0, because it doesn't matter to them. They need points. Their goal difference probably isn't going to be accounted for. They just need the points to stay up. So I think Man United will then capitalise on that with the gaps in the back and win that game 3-0. So game week 32, this is what the table will look like after it, or what I predict it will look like. Okay, West Ham, as I said earlier, out of the bottom three with a win against Wolves. Level on points with Nottingham Forest and 1 point behind Leeds. Very tight down there though. One win gets Tottenham out of the relegation zone up to 15th. So it is really, really tight down there and sort to play for. But as it stands at the minute, I've got West Ham out of the relegation zone and Tottenham in it. Okay, moving on to week 33. Okay, I'm just going to skip the games that aren't relevant. Okay, Leeds v Wolves. Massive game this for Leeds. They're going to think they're going to be able to beat Wolves. But Wolves are actually a good team. Like they've really come out of their shell since they've been almost relegated. The pressure seems to be off them. They've got a little system going. They're doing all right. But Leeds away is going to be a difficult game. The problem for Leeds is they don't score many goals. So I don't necessarily think they're going to win this game, because I think Wolves will get a goal. And because Leeds don't score that many goals, it's going to be hard for them to win the game. So I'm going to go over 1-1 draw. Okay, skipping to the Tottenham-Brighton. Tottenham at home is almost a banker for a loss at the minute. Like, you can't predict Tottenham are going to win a game for the rest of this season, because you just don't know what Tottenham's going to turn up. They've got the players to win games. They definitely have. They're just not turning up. They're not playing for each other. They're not playing for the badge. They're not playing for the manager. And Brighton can beat anyone in the league if they turn up. And Brighton will be looking at Tottenham thinking, that's 3 points that we need. Again, Tottenham, I just don't see them winning a game at home, because the fans, they had that big celebration last week. That didn't work. There's only so much you can ask of the fans until the players have to be held accountable and have to bring the fans back in. And I just don't see a world where they do that against Brighton at home. I think they're going to need to get a win away where there's less pressure on them to win, to bring their confidence back up. And unfortunately, that's not against Brighton. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Brighton in this game. And Brighton are back on the up again. They've beaten a couple of teams in the last few weeks. They did go through a bit of a bad patch, but now they seem to be winning games again, beating Liverpool, which, yes, Liverpool aren't Liverpool as we know them at the moment. However, they're still up there in the Champions League spots, so Brighton still had to beat them, and they did. So yeah, I think Brighton have got a 2-0 win there. Skip the rest of these games, down to Forest Burnley. I think Forest have got this. Burnley are not a good team. I think they are only 19th because Wolves just couldn't win a game to save their life at the beginning of the season. But I think they're going to end up bottom of the league. They don't score nearly enough goals. They don't create nearly enough chances, and they concede far too many goals. All bad things. So I think Forest will win this game, and I think it's going to be a 2-0 win for Forest. These are the sort of games that Forest, I think, will win. Against Aston Villa, it's a difficult game, but the teams that are around them, Forest, can beat them teams and have been beating them teams, and that's what's been keeping them up. They beat Tottenham, they beat West Ham, they beat the teams around them. I'm pretty sure they beat Leeds as well. So they beat all the teams around them, and that's the reason why they're still out the relegation zone. If they didn't win them games, they would be the ones that are in the relegation zone. But that 9 points against the teams around them are pivotal in staying up for them. Man City, Arsenal, obviously is not a relegation battle, so I don't need to do that one. Crystal Palace, West Ham. This is a tough one because you don't know what Crystal Palace are going to turn up. The manager's almost sacked it, and that's out in the public. Everyone knows that he's probably going to be leaving. They've sold their best players, run underneath his feet. He's not happy. But then they can just turn up and win a game. It's very, very hard to predict the Palace game. However, West Ham know they're in a dogfight, and I think they're going to be going into this game, again, with their tails up from probably, or my prediction, beating Wolves to beating Palace as well. Also, with the running that West Ham have got, they need to beat these teams because they're not gonna beat teams like Everton, because they never beat Everton, so they're not going to beat them now. If they don't beat them on a good year, they're probably not going to beat them on a bad year. So I think Palace is a game they will also target to win, and I'm going to go over 2-1 win to West Ham on that one. Okay, let's see what it does to the table now. Again, Tottenham staying in there because they haven't won a game. However, Leeds are now touching now the closest team to Spurs. And West Ham have pulled themselves out a little bit, given them a 5-point buffer. But 2 wins for Tottenham, 2 losses for West Ham. West Ham goes straight back in. So it's literally all to play for. There's no real gap created here. Forest on the same points. So even up to going into week 34, no one's relegated. Everyone's still a couple of games away from being safe. Okay, on that, moving on to week 34. Okay, Sunderland Forest. Again, this is another one of them games where Sunderland at home are very hard to beat. Nottingham Forest will be coming at this game, trying to win this game, because they're going to need to win this game to get some separation. However, Sunderland, if they've just beaten Tottenham last week, the week before winning their game against, or a couple of weeks before winning their games against Newcastle, they're going to be up for this. They're not going to want to lose this game. But I do think this will be a draw. I think Forest are not going to give up. I think they're going to take it all the way to the end and get themselves a draw. So I'm going to go over 1-1 draw here. Okay, don't need to do these. Bournemouth, Leeds. Okay, again, Leeds away from home, not the greatest. But again, they're now, if my predictions are correct, they're now the closest team to Spurs. So there's going to be pressure on them now. But Bournemouth are a good team. They're a very good team, and they're a bit underrated. Bournemouth, they're very hard to beat. They've got a lot of quality players, a lot of quick players, and a very good system and a good manager. They've got all the hallmarks of being a good mid-table to top, to like touching sort of the bottom of Europe if they have a good run. Leeds away from home, classically not, or this season, not been particularly great. They're much better at home than they are away. But as they've got a lot to fight for, and Bournemouth by this point probably haven't got much to fight for, but will just be trying to win games, I think this is going to be a draw as well. I'm going to go over 1-1 draw because, again, Leeds don't score many goals. So I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw there. Okay, I'll leave the Liverpool Palace game. West Ham Everton. West Ham never do very well against Everton. I don't see West Ham winning this game. Everton, again, they've had a decent season under Moyes. Moyes is going to want to beat them. The fans will want to beat them because they're back in Moyes, and Moyes is going to want to beat us, so they're going to want to beat us. I feel like West Ham, I think they're going to lose this game. I do. A lot of the time they lose against Everton. For some reason, I'm not sure what it is. But I think West Ham are going to lose this game. But because they targeted the games before, I think this one will be the one that they will go, okay, Everton are a tough team. But I think I'm going to go over 2-1 win for Everton here. Wolves, Tottenham. Wolves away from home. Tottenham away from home. This might be the next game that Tottenham target on we need to win this game and we should win this game. Wolves are a tough team to beat now. However, I think Tottenham being in the relegation zone and cut adrift a little bit, they're going to have to do something. I don't see their manager still being with them at this point. If my predictions are the way that it goes, I just don't see how their manager can continue on, and something will have to change, and Tottenham will be a changed team by now. And I'm not saying they're going to win every game that's in front of them, but this will be the game I think that they will look to and go, right, we need to win this game, and we've got a chance to win this game. Away from home, like I said earlier, might give them a little bit of a chance to be under a bit less pressure. So I'm going to go over 2-1 win for Tottenham. Yeah, for their first win of the calendar year. It's just a prediction. Like I said earlier, you can't really predict when Tottenham are going to turn up, but you know they've got a good enough team to win a game, so it's going to happen eventually. Well, you would think it was going to happen eventually, and this for me is the time that it's going to come. Okay, next game. That's all there. That's all the relegation one's done. Okay, so let's calculate that. Okay, looking at that, West Ham loss brings them within 2 points of Tottenham in the relegation zone. Leeds, again, 35 points, but better goal difference, much better goal difference. That's why I don't think they're going to be trying to ship too many goals, because they know their goal difference is way better than West Ham's. So I think Tottenham are still down there, but with that win, that might give them a bit of a boost and see if they can push themselves out of the relegation zone. And Forest on 36 points, still in it. They're still 1 win away, Tottenham, from being 15th. But it's still tight down there. Okay, week 35. Okay, first relegation team, Tottenham away at Villa. Yeah, they might have just had a win or predicted a win against Wolves, but I just don't see a world where they beat Aston Villa away. They might have a little bounce, and they might have a bit of confidence if they do beat Wolves. But Aston Villa are looking at keeping Champions League spots at this point, and for me, that's going to be a bigger driver for them, and they actually play like a team, whereas Tottenham don't really. So I think I'm going to go over Aston Villa win here. I'm going to go for 2-0. Okay, next, Brentford West Ham. I watched the cup game. I know cup games are different to league games, but I think West Ham can nick a win against Brentford. Brentford were West Ham were putting it all over Brentford, and I think towards the second half they just ran out of energy and then conceded a goal, and it sort of just fizzled out the game. But because it was a cup game, it's a bit different. Whereas this, Brighton don't really have anything to play for. West Ham need to get themselves out of the relegation zone, and I think this one will be one that West Ham do nick a win at against Brentford. So I'm going to go over 2-1 win for West Ham. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Chelsea have been up and down, but again, they're going to be in and around the Europe places, and they need to get Europe. They can't not get Europe. They're going to be fighting with everything they got to win this game. You would think, even though they haven't done that for the last few games. By this point, they should be back up and running and winning games. So I think they're going to beat Forest. I think they're going to have a bit too much. So I'm going to go over 2-0 win to Chelsea. Leeds, Burnley. Leeds at home and Burnley away. I don't even see Burnley getting a goal here, to be honest with you. I think Leeds are going to win comfortably. And I think they're going to win 2-0. Like I said earlier, their home form's way better than it is their away form. And Burnley will already be probably relegated by this point, or very close to, but knowing they're probably not going to get out of it. Whereas Leeds know they need to win to get out, because they're still going to be looking at getting sucked back in. So I think they're going to win that, and I think they're going to win it comfortably 2-0. Next game, Wolves, Sunderland. Wolves will already be relegated by this point, so don't need to worry about that. Okay, now look, you can see every single week this changes like drastically, or literally all the teams change. The only ones that haven't changed is Tottenham from like match day 32 when they went into the relegation zone. But the three above them constantly up and down. That's how tight it is. However, at this point, Spurs are 2 wins away from West Ham and Leeds. And now their goal difference, from what I predict, is going to be a bit questionable as well. So they're getting to the point where goal difference might come into it for them. Nottingham Forest on 36, so they're 1 win away from getting... 1 loss away, from back in the relegation zone. But their goal difference is better, so if Tottenham win, if they have to win by 2 clear goals, more than 2 clear goals to get out of the relegation zone, then... I mean, it's going to be difficult for Tottenham to do because they don't score many goals anyway. Okay, 36. First game we've got Forest v Newcastle. Forest at home, difficult to beat, difficult to predict Newcastle as well, because again they're a sort of team that they've had a bad spell, then all of a sudden they come back, and they just beat a team like they beat Chelsea, and they absolutely dominated Chelsea, and then they lose to Sunderland. It's very up and down for Newcastle at the minute, but Forest will be very aware that they're going to be close to getting relegated at this point. So I thought we're going to put this one as a draw. I'm going to go 2-2 for this game. I just think Newcastle will show up and Forest won't be able to outscore them. Okay, Tottenham Leeds. 6-pointer, massive game. Massive game. And Tottenham at home aren't great. Leeds away aren't great. I feel like this is going to be a very cagey game. No team's going to want to lose. They're both going to want to win, but I don't think any of them are going to commit until around the 75th minute, when they know that there's only 15 minutes left to go and they've got a better chance of at least coming away with a draw, potentially a win, rather than going for it straight away, fizzing out, and then struggling towards the end of the game. But I'm going to put this as a draw. I don't see either of these two teams beating each other. I'm going to go with 1-1 with a very cagey game, and one that you'd think would be worth watching, but I don't think it will be worth watching in the end. I could be wrong on that. West Ham Arsenal. This one's a funny one because by now Arsenal have probably already won the league. If they keep winning games, Man City have got a lot to catch up. I personally think that Arsenal will have already won the league by this point. So them coming to West Ham, we upset them the other year when they were coming to us. I feel like that's going to happen again because West Ham are still going to be trying to get out. So I think I can't put West Ham as a win here though, because West Ham very rarely beat Arsenal, and that would be insane to do that on this prediction. Because how can I predict West Ham are going to win when we hardly ever beat Arsenal? So I'm going to go over 2-2 here. Because Arsenal are 100% going to score at least 2 corners in that game. So, you know they're going to get 2 goals. Let's see what that does for the league on 36. Okay, there's Tottenham still in relegation zone. Still 1 win away from Forest. But now West Ham and Leeds have pushed over that 38-point marker that's been put out, saying that they think that teams are going to be safe at 38 points, which could be true, but there's still a couple of games left, and if Tottenham do nick some wins at the end, that's going to put them above 38 as well. So it looks like everyone's going to finish above 38 points compared to what I think. So I don't think 38 points is going to be safe. It might end up being safe, but I don't look at that and think that's the marker. I think 40 points. 40 points I think will get you safe. Okay, moving on to 37. Okay, next game, Chelsea, Tottenham. There's no one that watches football, that's watched football for more than 5 to 10 years, that will think Tottenham are going to win this game. There's almost absolutely no chance they're going to win this game. And this will be the game that relegates Tottenham if they lose. And Chelsea will want nothing more to be that team to relegate Tottenham. Even though Tottenham's season is over 38 games, officially, the game they got relegated would have been match week 37 away at Chelsea. And they will absolutely love that. So I don't see Tottenham winning this game. And I think actually they're going to absolutely pile in. And I think Chelsea are going to win 3-0. I don't see it. It could even be more, to be honest with you. I know Chelsea ain't up to what they're normally up to, but they will turn up for this game like they do every year. And I think Tottenham will absolutely crumble. And that'll be them relegated. Leeds, Brighton. Leeds at home, but Brighton are a good team. I don't see Leeds winning this game, but I think Leeds will almost know they're safe now and be playing a little bit more freely. So I think I'm going to put a 2-2 draw in this one. Man United, Forest. Okay, Man United are going to be still trying to keep their place up in, or get as high as they physically can. And I don't see a place where Nottingham Forest win this game away from home against Man United. Man United have turned the corner massively since Carrick was involved. They've really turned the corner, and I think Nottingham Forest will turn up, but just not nearly to be good enough against Man United. But also Forest will pretty much know that they're safe. They're going to be listening. They're going to be knowing about the Tottenham score. So I think they're going to know that they're safe whatever happens after this game. So I think Man United will beat them, but I think it'll be a 3-1 win to Man United. Okay, Newcastle, West Ham. Again, at this point, West Ham will probably know they're safe. Newcastle, again, are a team that are beatable but can also turn up. West Ham away from home against Newcastle. I'm going to go with a draw. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. Because West Ham aren't going to want to lose, but I think Newcastle, depending on how they turn up for that day, because they're very hard to predict. Okay, well actually, it looks like Nottingham Forest are still within reaching distance of Tottenham to be relegated. So this one might not actually be the one that relegates them, but I mean Tottenham have got to win by 4 goals to stay up, unless Forest get battered as well. Yeah, I don't see that. I think that's Tottenham relegated, I would say, at that point. There's one game left and they will still feel like they've got something to fight for, but I don't think that they're going to really have anything to fight for, to be honest. I'll just go down to the first relegation game, which would be Forest-Bournemouth. Forest, no, they need to not lose this game, and I don't think they will lose this game. Bournemouth, good team, structured, but I think Nottingham Forest will just grind out a result in this game because they know all they need is a point, or at least they know they don't need to lose 2-3-0. But I think Forest will get at least a draw out of this game. I'm going to put that as a 1-1 because they will be nervous though. They're going to know they need to win or at least not lose, but they're going to be nervous in that because technically they can still go down. But I just don't see a world where that happens. And Tottenham at home to Everton. Everton are a really good team. I don't see Tottenham beating Everton. I know that this is the game that may potentially keep them out of the Championship, but I just don't see Tottenham beating Everton, to be honest. They might not lose, but I don't see them winning. So I'm going to go with 2-2 here. But that's going to be a game I think will definitely be worth watching if it's on TV, which it doesn't look like it is. And finally, last game, West Ham Leeds. Both of these will be safe at this point, so the pressure will be off. And I think West Ham do Leeds. Away from home, I think that West Ham will be able to beat Leeds because, again, I don't think they've been particularly good away from home. I'm going to go over 2-1 for West Ham. And that's the last game of the season. Okay, what does that do for the table? Okay, yeah, as we sort of knew already, Tottenham relegated, which is absolutely mental. I've been as fair as I could be as well. Like, I know I support West Ham, but it's I don't think I've been unfair there. I think it's very hard to predict where Tottenham win games. I think they'll win against Wolves. But everywhere else, unless something drastically changes in the way they turn up, I can't see them getting out of it. But we might have to revisit this if in a couple of weeks' time Tottenham have done something that we weren't predicting. I might come back to this, do it again, maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe on match day 35, 34, 35. Do it again, see if anything's changed from now. But yeah, this is it. I've been as fair as I can possibly be. I don't think I've been unfair there in most of them games. However, if you don't think Tottenham are going to go down and you think I've made a mistake somewhere or you differ on opinion, just let me know in the comments. Explain why, explain how. And, I mean, opinion is opinion, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? This is my opinion. This is what this channel's about. Giving my opinions on stuff that is either controversial through the week or stuff like this, predictions, reviews of the games, stuff like that. Yeah, so Tottenham go down. Absolutely crazy. But thank you for watching. If you got all the way through the video, thank you very much for watching. This is early on in this channel. Bear with it. It will get better. I will endeavour to do a lot better on how I'm running this. Just finding my feet at the minute. But I really enjoy doing this sort of stuff. So I think things will get better and better. But thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Like I said before, if you think of something different or you think someone else will get relegated, let me know in the comments and why you think that, and then I'll respond. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later.